This show is clean, pretty much.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 715. Hello, it's Mike Matthews broadcasting from the last place on earth, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California. Today, it's Madame Rootabega, Valentino, Bison Bentley, plus part 2 of my Into an interview with the lead singer of the San Francisco band Odd Owl, Carmen Caruso, and a hedgehog the size of your thumb. Yes, so cute. Mike's Daily Podcast. And last show, the brewmaster made us something that made us puke. Mike's Daily Podcast. He made a root beer that was a leather couch root beer, and if you drank it, you would realize all of your fears. You would suddenly convulse and go, I need a leather couch. Oh, how ironic. Oh, my appendix. Ouch. And so that was a pretty good show. But there's something that I've noticed. Mike's Daily Podcast. Living in the Bay Area, that there's a bit of snobbery. Mike's on both sides Daily of the Bay Podcast. That'd be the Peninsula side. Yeah! And the East Bay side. The San Jose, Silicon Valley side, everyone ignores. They just realize that they're a bunch of rich aristocrats that will forever. Look who just walked in. Michael Matthews, this is Madame Rootabega. And don't say anything bad about the Silicon Valley, because they have made the things that allows you to podcast. Whew. Yes, well, I guess in Silicon Valley was created the iPod, which is what has become what the name podcast basically refers to. So, yeah. All right. Any case, there's the Peninsula side and the East Bay side, and they seem to have a bit of a rivalry going on. Especially you can see when the Giants play the A's, and the A's beat the Giants last night. But there's what you call, I say, on one side of you've got the Peninsula, you've got expensive cars, expensive restaurants, no shortage of no U-turn signs, and traffic. On the East Bay side, you have food trucks, graffiti, sunshine, and tattoos. Michael Matthews, I don't like the tattoos. Why not? Because I am very old, and if I got a lot of tattoos, let's say for every phase of my life where I thought that tattoos were cool, I would be a big billboard sign full of stupid things. Ooh. In other words, you wouldn't agree with some of the tattoos you'd gotten. You would have lasered them off years ago. Exactly, and I'm afraid of lasers. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. Don't do that again. It was just a laser just happened to come by right at that moment here at the last place on earth. So frightened. Look who else just walked in.
Oh, dear, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Mike, we don't understand what you're talking about here in the Bay Area between the Peninsula and the East Bay thing.
Yeah, it's like you're talking a foreign language. Do you know that? Yeah, you guys really aren't from around here. So, yeah, the way I've described it is how it is. The Peninsula tends to get a little bit more fog. It's lovely over there. There are many downtown areas. Everybody's got a downtown. Even like San Carlos has a downtown. All nice little downtowns. Everyone's got one. Here in the East Bay, yeah, we've got some downtowns, probably more than most of America. But they're not quite the Peninsula charm. But then we've got our own East Bay charm, where we got the food trucks.
Mike, again with the food trucks,
I know. I should talk about something else, like hedgehogs. Oh, yes. No, not Sonic. Let's hear it for Sonic, though. Yeah, and I meant Sonic, the fast food drive-in roller skate place. I like watching teenagers on roller skates bring me food. It's sort of a sick enjoyment you get when you reach your 40s. So what they found, according to the LATimes.com, in British Columbia, researchers unearthed a 52 million year old fossil of the smallest hedgehog known to science. The animal was fully grown when it died, and it was just 2 inches long, about the length of your thumb. They called it Silvacolo-acares, which means tiny forest dweller. This little guy was so eensy-weensy, and that's exactly how they wrote it in this article. They actually spelled out eensy-weensy, and I never knew it was 2 E's and a Y. That the back molars of this hedgehog were just 1 millimeter in length. His bones were so delicate that the researchers were worried his fossil would break apart if they tried to get it out of the rock. Instead, they decided to leave the fossilized parts of the animal's skull embedded in the rock and do a micro CT scan on it to figure out exactly what mammal they were looking at. Amazing. Unfortunately, we can only get to know this mini hedgehog through fossils. Silvacolo-acares lived during the early Eocene era, when the Earth was the warmest it had been since the time of the dinosaurs. They were having their own little climate change, which the other the conservative dinosaurs were like, no, it isn't true. Repeal Obamacare. Benghazi. The Silvacolo fossil was discovered in the Driftwood Creek beds near Smithers, British Columbia, about 420 miles north of Vancouver. What do you think about that? Smallest hedgehog ever. So cute. Makes me want to play a video game. Email me, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST-715-Music@gmail.com. We read your comments on the section emails from email. Also email me there if you'd like to be a guest on the show or if you would like to sponsor the show. MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. There's also the website, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Yes, that is where you can find links to where to listen to the show in iTunes. Subscribe to this show in iTunes and also rate and comment on the show. More people will find out about us if you do that. There's also the Facebook page. Like the Facebook page, and when I post a new show, share it with your friends. More people will find out about us that way too. There's also links to where to find us on Twitter, Tumblr, Yelp, Mixcloud, Spreaker, SoundCloud, and YouTube, all there at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. And the Amazon deal of the day. Click on that and buy something at a great discount, and you'll help us out that way too. There's the blog and the daily podcast picture as well at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Oh, and every single interview I have done, all the great bands I've had on the show, and other interesting guests. You can hear all those interviews too at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. And speaking of which,
Into an interview.
Okay. I'm speaking with Carmen Caruso of Odd Owl, and she is a singer and songwriter and plays the keyboard. What was the first instrument that you played?
Piano, actually. I did Suzuki I started when I was 5.
Wow.
Yeah, I got in early.
And you play on a Nord?
Yeah, I play on a Nord Stage 88 with weighted keys.
That's the way to go.
For people that are geeks. Yes. I think it's whatever you grow up on. Like, I know people that start with organ and, they're used to not having weights, but it's really hard when you're used to playing with weights to, switch.
Right. You're like, because you're used to that and the certain amount of pressure that you put on each key. And
yeah.
And then you are very pretty. Has anyone ever in an interview said that to you before?
No, actually.
Well, people will see when they go to Odd Owl, they'll go, wow, Carmen Caruso is stunning. And so has that helped or hampered your songwriting?
In terms of my songwriting, since it's such an intimate process with people I know that are kind of my family, outside of my family, definitely I don't think they're probably used to my face.
They're like, oh my gosh, your face. Oh.
I know.
What happened? And then your songwriting. Yeah.
But, I don't know. Performance-wise, who knows if people... I guess it would be hard to know unless I was ugly for a day and then could compare results.
There's a song lyric there somewhere.
I know.
Which leads me to my next question. What's the deal with Bill Murray on your Facebook page?
I didn't post that. Phil did.
Oh, okay.
But we're both big Bill Murray fans, so I could see why he posted it.
Yeah, he's a funny comedian guy.
Yeah, I guess I like a lot of the movies that he's been in. I love Wes Anderson movies, and I like Lost in Translation.
Oh, yes. And Groundhog Day.
And Groundhog Day, I could forget Groundhog Day.
And Rushmore and all those others, yes.
Yeah.
And your awesome merch. Tell me about how you guys make some really cool T-shirts and stuff for the band.
Yeah, we just started. Well, I guess I figured we were spending so much trying to get the shirts printed through a professional printer, and we weren't trying to do anything super fancy. So I actually contacted Trillian, who does screen printing all the time, and she helped show me the basic ropes and set up a home studio setup. And I mean, there was definitely a learning curve, but we've kind of got it down now fluently. So it's fun. I don't know. I like hands-on stuff. So. And
Trillian Spencer is the designer of all the cool drawings.
The illustrator, yeah.
And how has Kickstarter helped? Has Kickstarter helped Odd Owl at all?
Yeah, Kickstarter was quite an amazing process, and I mean, there's definitely things I would have done differently if I had a chance to go back and do it again, but I think it really gave us a leg up and kind of gave us a chance to create something interesting, and that in turn has opened up new doors for us. I know we got featured on Kickstarter, which helped us get our stuff out there to a lot of new people. And yeah, I mean, we were able to kind of budget what we made. I guess the only negative downside is just the incredible amount of work it took to run the campaign and make all the rewards.
Oh.
I mean, we still have a couple we have not been able to finish yet, just because they're the most involved ones, of course. But it was a ton of work. So I can see why you wouldn't want to do it if you didn't have to, because I mean, people sometimes think, oh, you're just going on there and asking for money, but I mean, I think you go on Kickstarter and you have rewards that you're going to give people in exchange for their donation.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely kind of an expectation that, you have to give something back. And I would feel weird any other way. But it's definitely, when you have 178 orders.
Yeah. No,
it's all these little parts, it's just, it's a lot.
Well, how many Kickstarter campaigns have you done?
Just that one.
Oh.
So we had waited a few, because we were still getting our band members together, and then we decided to go for it. And then I started researching other Kickstarters, which was actually really helpful, researching successful bands and, how they ran their campaigns. A couple months before, and we had to come up with a video, and it was pretty cool though. I'm glad we did it.
And it was basically a Kickstarter for the album The Call, or just to yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because we had been recording in my basement for the last two albums, and I couldn't feasibly record in my basement with drums now that we had a drummer, because my neighbors would go crazy on me. So, understandably. So yeah, we knew we had to pay to go into a real studio, and so that's kind of where the expense came in, where we decided to go with Kickstarter. So yeah, and Kickstarter was able to pay for all the mixing costs, mastering, promotion, the cost of making the CD materials, and and the video, one of the videos for it. So it was pretty it's pretty awesome. It makes you feel really good when people help you reach your goal. You know, I think it gave my band members like a feeling like that we could do this.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's impressive. Very impressive how you guys did that. Well, tell me about the song Way to Go, Apollo.
Way to Go, Apollo, I believe, and Phil wrote this, I think he wrote most of this song, but I believe it's kind of about someone who's kind of like left their career and then having another friend come in and say, you know, hey, why are you giving up on this, you know? It's kind of from the point of the friend saying, like, you don't need to give up on yourself or your dreams. That's how I've always interpreted it.
Ah, that is awesome. I love that. I love the nature of that theme. And just how, I mean, it's not just like, yeah, well, this song is about like when you meet a girl and you fall in love with her and she's got nice hair. Or, you know, this is a song about being happy and clapping like if your room doesn't have a roof. Which I love that song, by the way, but anyway. No? Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so, but that's a great thing because some people, you know, you give up and then sometimes a friend will come along and go, no, don't go. You know, believe in yourself. And
Yeah.
Yay. Cheerleading kind of like thing. Like you're cheering on your friend.
Yeah, I think most of our songs are kind of approaching it with a sense of from an uplifting side. Kind of, you know, and not like you don't go through problems. Everybody goes through problems, but I think a lot of how you deal with your problems and how you move forward is a big part of it. So a lot of our songs kind of come with it from that more positive perspective.
Well, let's listen to the positive perspective of Way to Go, Apollo. It's the group Odd Owl, and you can find out more about them at oddowlmusic.com. And it's the lovely Carmen Caruso we're speaking to on Mike's Daily Podcast. go, Apollo. That is Odd Owl and Carmen Caruso singing that as we go outside of the last place on earth where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California. Tomorrow, the finale of my Into an Interview with Carmen Caruso of Odd Owl. And do not forget that they are performing live at the bottom of the hill in San Francisco, one of the awesomest venues ever. That is this Saturday, July 12th.
And here's today's podcast picture.
And the picture is of one of the smallest beaches in the world, I think. I may be wrong. But in downtown Benicia, which used to be the capital of California for like a couple months back in the 1800s, there is this little beach in downtown Benicia that I've taken Basil the Boxer to. And that's a picture of me standing there by the beach. And it's got this cool, the remnants of an old pier, the little pier poles sticking up out of the water, and a seagull off in the distance. And then you can see like Martinez across the water there. Oh, you've got to see, I'm painting the picture, but you should just look at it. It's right there at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Michael Matthew, don't put any more tattoos on me. Ooh, it keeps the lasers away. Ooh. Ow, 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 you just shot me with a laser. And it left a tattoo. It says, Mike is a Benicia geek. Yes, Michael Matthew, you're always talking about Benicia. Why? Is that bad? Is that like beneath me to talk about Benicia? Tomorrow, the finale of the Into an Interview with the lovely Carmen Caruso of Odd Owl. Plus, we'll hear from Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the Engineer.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Benicia. Ooh.